Hello, everyone. My name is Lizzie, and I'm the intern at the Area 10 End Right Centers here in Ellettsville and Bloomington, Indiana. I am currently a senior about to graduate from Indiana University, and I'm studying community health. And I will be going on here in the next few weeks to graduate school to be a physician assistant. So today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about practicing brain activities. And I'll get into a little bit about what I mean by that here in a little bit. But this information that is in this presentation is mostly from classes that I've had in the past. And I actually did a pretty big research project on this topic. So I'm going to be sharing some information that I have learned from that research project, as well as a little extra research that I did. So this is the lecture for the month of May. All right, so we're first going to talk a little bit about the background and just some current research going on here. So Alzheimer's and dementia have actually become increasingly common for older adults, 50 and older, in the United States. And so more research still needs to be done. And while there is no current research that suggests that keeping your mind routinely active can prevent Alzheimer's or dementia, some have found there's an association between these memory games, mind stimulating games, and a reduced risk or delayed onset of Alzheimer's or dementia. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's disease. I'm sure many people have heard these terms before, and maybe some people don't really know what they mean. So dementia is actually a collective term to describe various symptoms of cognitive decline, such as forgetfulness. And so it's actually not a single disease, but a general term to describe these symptoms that are associated with these diseases that cause memory, communication, and thinking impairment. And so again, dementia is associated with a loss of memory, language, problem solving, and other thinking abilities. Now, Alzheimer's disease is actually a type of dementia, and I don't think a lot of people know that. And it's actually the most common type of dementia. And according to the Alzheimer's Association, it makes up about 60 to 80% of dementia cases. So Alzheimer's actually affects memory, thinking, and behavior. And it's known as a progressive disease because symptoms progress over time and actually begin to interfere with daily tasks. And in the early stages, memory loss is mild. But as it progresses, people can have a difficult time even carrying a conversation and responding to their environment and their surroundings. So I want to emphasize that Alzheimer's is not at all part of aging, but it's the greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's. Old age is the greatest known risk factor for Alzheimer's. So usually individuals 65 and older are at the greatest risk. And so unfortunately, Alzheimer's does not have a current cure, but treatments are available for symptoms to kind of suppress them a little bit and even delay them a little bit. But nevertheless, research is continuing, and I'm hoping that here in the next few years, we'll have a little bit more understanding of what causes Alzheimer's and dementia diseases. So what does actively stimulating your mind mean? And what types of activities will kind of fall into this? So according to current research, activities actually need to incorporate memory, reasoning, and speed of processing information. And this is in order to actively stimulate your mind. And so current dementia research also notes that stimulating your brain will also stimulate your senses. And these sensory responses, when triggered, can actually help you stay active and engaged and paying attention. And that's what we want. So what types of activities actually fall into these categories? So first we have the classic jigsaw puzzles, crossword, Sudoku, different types of reasoning games like these. They help to activate your reasoning and memory skills, not necessarily your speed of processing information. Although take a crack at racing against the clock or racing against someone else, then you're really you're working all of them. Another classic is card games. And I'm sure a lot of people realize that this is a brain activity. So depending on the type of game, this can actually work on all three of these skills, memory, reasoning, and speed of processing information. So it kind of just depends on the game that you're playing. The Alzheimer's Foundation actually also recommends learning something new. And so I think I found this pretty interesting. If you have time to fit this into your routine, I think that this is a great option. It can be anywhere from learning a new instrument to learning a new language. This is great for practicing all three of these skills. It tests your memory because when you come back the next day, you have to remember what you would learn the previous day. And so it also tests your reasoning and your speed of processing information in some cases. So for example, say you're learning a new language and you're trying to say something to someone else. You're trying to carry a conversation in this new language. So it's testing your speed of processing information because you're trying to recall these different terms in the language to be able to carry this conversation in the moment with someone else. So I think it's really a great option to learn something and build upon it each day. And that's for something that maybe you just want to stick to one activity and you don't want to venture out to new activities. Another option is the classic reading and writing. This obviously stimulates your brain quite a bit. And whether you like to read or maybe keep a journal throughout the day, this stimulates your language and your associative learning skills, not to mention your hand-eye coordination skills if you're writing on pen and paper. There's also a lot of research right now with online games. So I also found this kind of interesting. It can be different types of applications on your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, your laptop, any device that you may have. There's so many different applications that you can use. I know the Endright Center offers Where's a Friends. We meet on Zoom twice a month, and we can meet up and play together. And so there are also different online video games that some people have that they've tried. And it seems like these are pretty fast paced and it forces you to think pretty quickly. And I guess there's just so many different options is what I'm trying to get at within this online gaming system here. They all have different types of themes, different end goals. And so everyone can kind of find something that fits their personality and what their interests are. And depending on the game, this also might stimulate all three, your memory, your reasoning, your speed of processing information. Also at the Enright Center, we offer the Brain Teasers class also twice a month. And we incorporate different thinking games such as determining different riddles, the answers to riddles. We've also incorporated in the few months that I've been with the Enright Center, Mad Libs and a new game online where it places you at a point on a map online, and you're supposed to determine where you're going or where you are placed on the map. So different games like that where you're just actively thinking and engaging your brain. And finally, research actually even says that brain boosting activities could be focusing on all of your senses, dancing, listening to music, and just different activities that are building your vocabulary. So why is this important? There's so many different reasons why, and I just picked a few of them to talk about today. The first is improvement in skills, your thinking skills, your reasoning, your memory, your all these different skills. And some examples I have on here are your ability to manage money, to do housework, even to remember things from a few days ago or whatever. So this really helps improvement with skills, even if you're not at a risk for dementia or Alzheimer's. It also helps, like I've been saying, with Alzheimer's disease and dementia, not necessarily prevention, but a delay of the onset or yeah. And then it also helps with delaying your decline in thinking skills. So finally, how can we fit this into your routine? So research shows that routinely stimulating your brain actually helps to reduce your risk or delay the onset of dementia diseases. So routinely working your brain works. It seems to work. And so this means that you should fit these activities into your routine daily. The same research says that you should actually work on this for at least 15 minutes a day. And the key is to be consistent. So you don't need to go crazy and do hours upon hours of work each day. It's important to stay consistent. So if you're doing the minimum of 15 minutes a day, just maintain this every day. And another important thing to know is you don't want to overload your brain. You don't want to drain yourself for the day. So it's important to take what you can handle and maybe start out small and increase with what you can handle. And just stick with it, honestly. And I think it's important to find things that interest you and are still stimulating your brain. So rather than finding some of those mindless activities, maybe switching them out with some that are stimulating your brain a little bit more. And once you find something, stick with it. Like I said, it's important to maintain that routine. And you may notice a difference, but or you may not notice a difference, but I'm sure that your brain will. And so this is just some of the information that I've learned, again, from my research project and some of the classes I've taken over the years. So thank you for listening today. And I encourage you all to try out some of these activities and stick with a routine. And if you have any questions, you can call the Enright Center. Or if you want to get involved in some of our programs that I mentioned, or if you have any ideas, maybe even for some upcoming events or activities that we can incorporate into our programming, please feel free to reach out. We love hearing new ideas. So thank you so much for listening to me today. I appreciate it and have a great day.